Hey everyone, welcome back. We're back with another box opening today. I have a bunch of different items. I think I have like 7 or 8 items that were purchased, different sets, different items, from what I like to call an eBay drop. So sometimes you'll see sellers on eBay post a listing or a series of listings that'll be usually like a minute and a half to 2 minutes apart in terms of timing that they end. And it's so that people can bid on that seller's items and try to buy up all of them and bid last minute, right? So I don't really participate in eBay auctions because, from a buying standpoint, because I don't like how I have to sit there to the last minute and kind of snipe the price in order to get a deal, right? Otherwise, when you're normally bidding on auctions, it's hard to get a good deal winning an item. But when sellers do these drops of listing, usually dozens of different listings, and they all end within a few minutes of each other, it makes it worth it for the buyers trying to get deals to schedule that into their schedule and sit down and try to bid on a bunch of items. And what you do is you research your top price going in, you schedule your time, you sit down at your computer, and within the last few seconds of every auction, you put in your very highest price you're willing to pay, and then hopefully you win. And if you don't, you don't. But if you don't, even if you do, you just move on to the next auction, right? And you bid on that one. Well, one of those drops happened recently, and I got a series of a bunch of items that I won from that seller. They probably had something like 30 different items that they listed, and I won about 8 of them. So I'll be opening that up. But before I do that, I want to go a little bit into what I've been selling recently. Some smaller items, because I just happened to be packaging this up when this item arrived. And so I was partway through. And in here, unfortunately, I already packaged it up. So this is an item I'm selling. By the way, like when you package these, I kind of want to go over a little bit of how I do that. So inside this is an Antiquities booster pack. I actually have an opening that I showed of that Antiquities booster pack, so it sold really quickly. I will put a link to my opening of that here. But I packaged that inside, and what I like to do for booster packs is I will first wrap them in a bubble wrap, because when you wrap the booster pack and then you kind of like dool up around the booster pack like that and tape this with some masking tape that's tearaway, it protects the edges of the booster pack. Actually, I have a booster pack right by me, so I'm just going to grab one. When you do that and put it inside, it helps protect these from getting all wrinkled up. So this would be, imagine it's inside and I actually got to wrap it. But if it's like that, that booster pack's not going to go anywhere. Nothing's going to happen to it. So I like to put in bubble wrap first to kind of protect the edges and get them, the seal not being, wrinkled or anything. And then once I have that in the bubble wrap, I like to tape it to, again, with tearaway masking tape, to like a box of some sort. So this is just a priority mail, box I cut up and put that in there. And these actually conveniently fit really well into the perfect size of like a booster box holder. So this is like 9 by 6 by 5. Yeah, you can see it. Box. You can get these pretty cheaply at like some supply warehouses and things like that. They're actually, for boxes, they're more expensive than you think. You get a bundle of 25 of them for like between $10 and $12. But, everything's shooting up in price, I guess. Anyway, I like to tape it to this, and it fits like perfectly right inside there when you cut these out. But you don't just want to like put it right in there, right? Because there's space, like there's more depth to it. So what I like to do is I save whenever I order from Amazon or anything online. They always put these big bubble, space fillers in. These, take 2 of them, they fit perfectly at the bottom. So I put like 2 at the bottom, put this in the middle, and then 2 on top, and seal that up, and it's, there's a pack inside there. You don't hear anything. It's not going anywhere. So I'll do that for by more expensive packs, especially any packs that I ship internationally, and this happens to be going to Norway. So anytime I ship international, I will not use bubble mailers, which I will do for domestic in the US. So I'll do a similar process of wrapping it up, but I'll then just put it in a bubble mailer. And I've never had issues with any booster packs being shipped in bubble mailers domestically. But once you get into dealing with international and, you know, they hand it off between so many different shipping departments, you never know what they're going to do. And it goes through customs and everything. So I like to have a full-on protective box in those cases. But just wanted to share that. I'm also mid-shipping up another item, which is one of my most sold items as well that I don't really talk about a whole lot. I do talk about how I love the Urza's block, but I have a bunch of these tournament packs. Urza Saga 75 card tournament packs sealed. And they're one of my better sellers. It was like 2 to 3 months ago. I've had, I don't know, around 20 of these. And 2 to 3 months ago, a bunch of them sold. I'd probably say like one a week was selling. Since then, the Urza Saga has gone down in price, and I want to wait out for the time when it will go back up. But prices of things are starting to go back up, and the buyer was wanted to buy from me this pack, so I went ahead and sold that to him, and it's also international. So I will be doing a similar wrap-up process. Obviously, it's different with tournament packs and booster packs to wrap it up. But yeah, I just want to go into the selling a little bit because that's mostly what I've been doing. As I said in my last video, been selling more than buying, even though I've been trying to buy a lot. But let me clear up space here. Without further ado, let's go into what I am buying, which is in here. Now, I don't think I've opened up any of these items on camera ever. And they're kind of, oh, that's a interesting shipping job. They have the packing peanuts, but they haven't really filled in a lot of space. See, I would definitely put in the bubble wrap, or, you know, the space fillers in here to make sure it doesn't ship around and move around a whole bunch. You just kind of, alright. We have a jumble in there. Alright, interesting. Hopefully everything's good. Let's just pull out from this pile until I can't pull out anymore. We got Portal Goblin Fire, so Portal Second Age constructed deck. I started with Portal when I started playing as a kid. And I never had one of these theme decks, but I just thought they'd be cool to own. It looks cool. But Portal stuff is so nostalgic. Yeah, this Goblin Fire one it's pretty decently priced, and I think is the most highest demand of the different Portal Second Age theme decks. Jump right into one of these good ones here. We have this Mirage starter deck. So they say starter deck means 60 cards in it, so the earlier versions were 60, then they eventually started going to 75, putting in the lands. Those are called tournament packs. But we have a sealed Mirage starter deck. Looks good. Oh, interesting. This one doesn't have an inner seal, and I think that's fine. I think the USA did not have inner seal, and that Belgium did, because they were printed in both USA and Cartamundi in Belgium. Where does it say where this was printed? Yeah, made in USA. That makes sense. So nothing suspicious here. The starter decks did not have an inner seal when they were printed in the US. I actually sold a 5th edition starter deck to a buyer recently, and then with a bunch of other different starter decks. And when he opened it, he messaged me afterwards and said he was shaking them a little bit. And the 4th edition ones I sold him, the Ice Age that I sold him, those all had inner seal, so they don't sound like, I don't know if you can get that on camera. You can tell that that is different from the sound of, let's see, I have some cards off to the side here. 6th edition. You get thud, 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 thud. This Mirage USA, you get creak, 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 creak. Anyway, you can clearly tell a difference between the sounds, and one has an inner seal and one doesn't. But note that 5th edition did not have inner seals on any of them. So there was nothing fishy about that. I replied to that buyer, happy to, whenever people are concerned that buy things, happy to work with them on it and tell them, help inform them. And so I sent him YouTube videos of people opening up the 5th edition tournament starter decks. And yeah, sure enough, they none of them had inner seal. Alright, let's see. We got another Portal one here. Another Portal theme deck, Spellweaver, pre-constructed deck. Let's see, let's get into some of the older stuff. I see one right here. We got a Stronghold. My camera's not focusing. There we go. A Stronghold, Call of the Core, pre-constructed deck. I think all these had inner seals. Yeah, that does. Alright, we've got another Stronghold. The Sparkler pre-constructed deck. Stronghold's another set that, it's got Mox Diamond, you got your Chase card. It's a set that I've seen coming down in price that is getting too low to where I think it should be. Happy to be buying up Stronghold right now. Alright, we got a Worlds Berlin World Championship deck by Wolfgang Etter. 2003. Yeah, so you'll see I'm still buying World Championship decks, even though these gold border cards are in the Magic 30. I can't have a video without mentioning Magic 30 these days. So I'm still buying them up. Clearly, I think they're going to hold their value. And then another Stronghold pre-constructed deck, the Spikes. A little bit of damage in there. But I find that people that are buying these aren't buying them to keep them sealed, right? And that makes sense. Pre-constructed decks are not really an item I highly recommend buying and trying to sell again. I mean, I'm not saying, clearly I'm buying them. They're not, off the table. You should consider if you get a good deal. But they are harder to turn around quickly. And they also, I don't think, will inflate in price as much as the other things. When you have the lottery effect of being able to possibly open, something in here, it's really rare on these random ones. These pre-constructed decks, you know exactly what cards you're getting, so I don't expect them to skyrocket as much. But the reason people buy these are to open them up and play with them and kind of relive that nostalgia that they had playing with the cards back in the day, both with these decks and just in general. Like, I even sometimes, when I play with my friends, I'll bring these over because we don't have huge collections of pre-made decks. So if we wanted to play some Stronghold and relive that, in order to have a reasonable deck of competitiveness that you can play, we might take a couple of pre-constructed decks and play against each other. We don't really remember what cards are in each one, but you get to have a feel of the flavor that was meant at the time playing Stronghold. and play something that is pre-built to be a competitive deck. So I think people are opening them when they buy them. And that's it. I guess I don't have anything else in this mess here. So yeah, just a bunch of items I wanted to share with you today. And yeah, I'll be, I am buying more. I have other purchases on the way, so I'm starting to pick back up again on the purchase videos. I do have some videos I'd like to be making of a little bit more of Magic 30 content, yes, just direct, talking to the camera videos, as well as more Dominaria United videos to come, as I haven't been making those videos. I have been drafting and haven't stopped ever since the beginning of the set. It's a great draft experience. I know I've said this before, but if you haven't drafted Dominaria United and you are at all interested in doing drafts, I highly recommend doing those drafts. And the meta has changed over time. That's part of what I like about Dominaria United drafts. The players are building decks differently. Cards have changed in value over time, and I think that's mostly what I want to provide an update on, is how the different cards have shifted over time, and not in value of price, but in value to competitiveness of playing draft. There's been definitely some format changes that have happened since release, so give an update on that, and it's not too late to jump into those drafts if you haven't played Dominaria United yet. Give a watch to my upcoming videos and then jump on into a draft. They're a lot of fun. Alright, that's all for today. Thanks everyone. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.